We are live, everybody. Everybody in the room and listener. Listener, we are here. Grove Sessions number 3 this week.
Wow.
And I always say that I'm excited because we have special guests, but we always have special guests, and today is no different. My name is Rick, CEO and co-founder of Grove Studios. I'm here with Max Price, and Max is the head of social media marketing for Grove, producer, rapper, and entertainment consultant. And today we're here with Blooming Prejippie, Vox, and Bruce.
All right.
They are the purveyors of the D.I.Y. Rockstar and the creative Rockstar life, Prejippie Music Group, and the Bourgeoisie Paper Jam,
Yes.
which is their band. And they just came out with some new stuff, so we're excited to dig in and talk about that. If you want to check out all that Blooming Prejippie Music Group has to offer, it's Blooming Prejippie. That's PREJIPPIE.com. They have a ton of content, really, really useful stuff for the independent and DIY rockstar. And I have to say, so let me say this. They're a record label, they're a music production company, a sync licensing company, and they specialize in funky, quirky, and eclectic music. And also, they're some of the best dressers I know.
Yeah, they got that
They
swag
have got
to
style
them,
for
that's
miles,
sure.
and their new artwork, which are on their T-shirts. You can't see it now,
Oh,
but
yeah,
we'll be
so
sharing
dope.
links in the
So
chat.
dope.
Really cool artwork.
Oh, we got stickers. We got
Stickers. We got CDs.
We got CDs.
It's amazing. You guys do a ton of stuff, and I have to tell this story out of the gate just because sometimes I put my foot in my mouth, and I think when we first met, I said, "You guys remember this now,
like
right?"
that about the
I said,
DIY.
the DIY. I made some comment about DIY,
It sounded low
and
budget.
it was kind of I was kind of referencing, it's like DIY sometimes means something other than what it actually is in certain contexts. And so it was a reference to that. But the more I've engaged with your guys' content, I see exactly what you're doing. And DIY it's independent. It's like you are running. You guys have so many cool things going on. And part of that, me telling that story was just to poke fun at myself for, the foot and mouth disease that I have. But
no, that's good.
but I also,
But it made us think. I mean, it made me think, and I thought, well, that's why the rock stars are part of it. So you can kind of see that you can still have style.
But it makes so much more sense now that I've, because when we met at first, I hadn't engaged in a lot of your content. And so now I'm seeing a lot more of it. I'm seeing what you guys do. And you guys do really do it yourself. And I think that's really amazing. And I love what you guys do. So
Thank you.
I'm also always honored that people like you are going to take time out of your busy schedules to come talk to us at Grove Studios. So
thank you guys
thanks
so
for
much.
being here.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what the DIY Rockstar is all about?
Go ahead. We can. We were talking about one of the recent episodes is why you should be DIY, and I guess for people, we have a unique story. People as old as us, that we've been around forever, but when we were waiting for people, things weren't happening for us.
Right.
And so we had to. It's like either you're going to do something.
Yep.
Yeah.
or you're going to die. I mean, what else you got left?
Right.
So we have nothing to lose except putting some energy out there. So so it's just about figuring out there's always a way to do something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
and during the pandemic, things have definitely got a lot different for artists. So what does the DIY Rockstar do during this pandemic age?
Okay, so that takes us to our gift to you guys. You guys are coming to help us celebrate. This is our gift to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The pandemic check-in for the DIY Rockstar 5 strategies to reignite your creativity. There are things you can do. You do not have to be depressed. One thing shuts down, it opens another opportunity. So you want to start, Bruce, with the first one?
I love that, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, let's just say, let me go with the creativity part of it.
Okay.
The one thing that I can say about this period of time is that it's a right period of time for creativity.
Absolutely.
So meaning that there's so many different things that are happening around you. So, and I'm not saying that you have to be overly heavy, but at the same token, you can get, this is a good time to make music for escape.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I want to make some dance music so that people can get away from this. Or you can kind of make music that reflects the times. But as an artist, I just think that this is very, very fertile times for us. And I think, too, that the world, and this is going to sound really heavy, needs artists to speak. Musicians, movies, whatever that you're doing, they need to hear from the artists,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think during this time especially. So right now for the D.I.Y. Rockstar, this is the time to say, hey, I'm going to dig into my creativity. I'm going to pull out, that thing that's inside of me and speak to these times. Speak loudly to it and clearly. So this is, man, I have to tell you, this is one of these times that I feel like I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Because this is a time that we actually get to speak.
Yeah.
And we actually can make a difference.
Yeah, because people were saying that about the 60s. They always lament about people in the 60s had something to say and there was something to talk about. And now we are reliving a lot of those same issues. So
Absolutely.
We are, and sans the pandemic, but the certainly the human rights issues and the civil rights issues that we have in this country, and it is the right time to speak. And what's amazing is that we do have all these technologies that allow the DIY folks to actually get their voice out there in more significant ways and platforms that we wouldn't have had in the 60s too.
Yeah.
So I like what you're saying about it is a time to speak out. And
Absolutely.
as far as creating music goes, as I was listening to you say those things, I thought, about my own personal experience in listening to music. When I hear that song that you hear from whatever era in your life that it was, it takes you back to that time. And I think we need that as people and as human beings to have that that memory. And if you're out there and you're making music and you're saying things, whether it's just a dance song that, a happy song to bring some joy to people, or it's a serious thing where you're addressing a topic, I think that stuff really matters.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a great point.
And I mean, artists have the opportunity, music is one of the greatest ways to express, what you've been through or the message that you want to get out to the world. And so much mainstream music, is just about bragging about how much money or cars you have or whatever.
they won't do you much good with the germ floating around that will kill you.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, it's an extremely important time for artists to dig deep and really make that real music. Don't be afraid to put your emotions, your raw emotions into the track, because we're all going through this, and different people are going through different things, obviously. But if you put that emotion on the track and release it out there, someone's going to relate to you and want and agree.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love that you guys came up with this, this pandemic sort of check-in for the DIY Rockstar. I think it's really valuable.
That's actually what Sugar Fit ended up being. I know for me, is I had a lot of times where I was kind of freaking out watching the news, and I'm like, I was having a fit. So, we started working with that idea, and that's it all kind of started coming together between the pandemic and, like you said, the racial stuff and being trapped in your house, and then, just all this. Going to the supermarket was a surreal experience. So it's like, this is, we're going through something, and we're going to remember this. So
yeah, and that's kind of going back to the other thing about one of the other points is manage your energy.
Yeah,
and so
that's so important.
Yeah, as far as managing what you're taking in, that if you're taking in a lot of negativity, that's another way to throw your energy off. And so
don't stop doom scrolling.
Exactly.
It was CNN for us. It's like just flipping through the news, and there were days I couldn't get off the couch. I'm like, what is going on? So and then having kids that are, our children are young adults, and like, what are they going out into? And our daughter was having a hard time for a minute.
Yeah,
just like, what is my future?
Yeah, it's hard.
So
yeah, a lot of anxiety. I mean, because you got this situation with the election coming up. you don't know what's going to happen regardless of who wins.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, I mean, we
Right.
got our president saying, hey, that the election is rigged and we haven't even had it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And
He's
so,
already setting
you
it
know,
up.
Yeah,
I
there's a
mean,
lot at stake.
Right. There's an awful lot at stake. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we have to think about that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and even like, you know, Trump supporters, how would they feel if Biden takes over? You know,
Yeah.
what's going to, you know,
Yeah.
this is,
Right.
Yeah, they're terrified, and even
Yeah.
some people, like, even that support more democratic ideas are afraid of Biden
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
over just because of the issues of talking that he has.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so frustrating having two
It
options.
is. Choose or lose.
It's definitely like the wildest time,
It
I
is.
thought there were times in life that were wilder all the time, that I've been a musician
Mm-hmm.
and things, and you get your material from the world that you live in. I know personally, talking to some artists where, and I can say this for myself personally, I mean, it was such a trip for the first couple months. Yeah, we started doing Grove sessions right away, but my personal creativity just took an instant. I was able to
Absolutely.
pull out the guitar a couple of times, but my personal creativity really did go down.
Yeah.
People, because I was talking, but both sides of the coin. Some people were like,
Right.
I'm on fire. I'm writing every day.
Yeah.
I'm making, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people are making entire records,
Right.
they're making double records. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've picked up my guitar like twice in the past 2 months. And,
Yeah.
and that's not like me, right?
Yeah,
It's
wow.
tough.
So I
And-
knew the stress was getting to me, right?
Yeah.
And me too. I mean, it's like the stress and the depression and all that stuff, like the stuff you normally have to get rid of that stress, like getting out of the house,
Yeah.
doing fun stuff,
Traveling.
Right.
going to the
Traveling.
gym,
Concerts.
traveling,
Right.
concerts,
Yes.
all those things are taken away. So it's so important, and it's been so important for me to like make it a priority to still fit in time for things that are going to relieve my stress and stuff, because when I don't, and there's definitely been months when I didn't, and I get so stressed, and it's just not, because
Yeah.
I feel like
Not-
I'm just working all the time and cooped
Yeah.
up in my house all the time, and like
Yeah.
it's just not a good place to be.
Yeah, definitely. And
So-
that's why it is so important to manage that energy
Yeah.
level because of
Yeah.
that. you
Yeah.
know, and the other part is to take care of your body.
Yeah.
So
You know,
important.
'cause,
Yeah, we were talking about consumption. Make sure you are understanding. I know a lot of us were pandemic snacking, but make sure you're
Yeah.
managing to get some fitness in there, because if you don't,
Put on them pandemic pounds.
It's the pandemic pounds for sure. I'm guilty
And I mean,
of that.
I think we don't realize, and I know I didn't realize for so long how much what I ate affected how I felt.
Yeah.
And if you're putting trash into your body,
Yeah.
like you might feel like trash and not even know it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that becomes
Turns out kale will solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, I eat a smoothie. I just throw kale in my smoothie every morning.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best. It just gets
I
me my
gotta remember
vegetables.
that. Let's just make sure
I mean, you can, saute it
on
and smoothie it and, whatever. It's a superfood, they say. So,
Oh, you already did number 3. So we did 1, which was manage your energy. 2,
Yeah.
which is monitor your consumption. So that's media, social media, food, drink, everything.
yeah.
I'm efficient. He's
efficient. He's
so
efficient.
I will do that.
And then he already said create often, because that was number 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
So important.
Number 4, remembering your why. Why? So for you,
Yeah.
I'm thinking when you finally picked up the guitar, it was because you needed it to relieve something, or you were ready to express.
Absolutely.
You're ready to say something.
Yeah.
So that's probably why you got into music, right? Because you're probably not in it for the chicks.
That's a lot of people make that assumption, right? And it's like no, people don't know this about me, but I am somewhat of an introvert. I have a very introverted side, and I think a lot of artists kind of do.
Yeah.
They're like, but you go on stage in front of hundreds
it's
of people. It's
different.
like, well, that's a different thing.
Yeah, it's different.
So yeah, even getting up and talking on a stage is
Yeah.
different, because when you have an instrument, that's just a different.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing. But yeah, I think you're right. I did. I needed to do it, and I have to do it like many times a week. I gotta be playing that guitar.
Because usually I know for us, the why when we first got together was to create. That's how we met. So it's to be able to to create a song and birth it into the world.
Right.
It's that emotion. So, that's important, to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, it is important to kind of, I guess it's just remembering your purpose. To the extent that you have tapped into your purpose, to remember that and always be able to go back to that.
Yeah.
Because these times can get very depressing.
It's hard.
So you have to understand your purpose. And when you're walking in your purpose, you start understanding that regardless of how depressing things are, that I have a place here and I have, a certain responsibility to fulfill my purpose
And
to
that
walk
gives
in
you
that
joy.
purpose.
That actually
love
makes
that.
you happier.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is actually the exact thing, like something I've been struggling with is like, as just you get more work, and because I just graduated from college last year, and so this is basically my first year in the workforce, and like I'm bad at balancing my life. I mean, it's either like I'm working or I'm chilling or whatever, but it's like it's hard for me to find that good daily balance where I'm creating, I'm exercising and working and getting everything done that I need to on a daily basis. It's tough.
Yeah, that's a balancing act. You're right.
Yeah, how did you guys like learn just the balancing act of everything?
It's a daily.
It is. I think for me, it helps to take the first couple of hours out the day to dedicate to exercise.
Yeah, that's
me too. I like that.
So by 7:00 in the morning, I'm done. So I mean, I've got my calorie count in. I've done all my working out, and so that then after that you can kind of focus on. For me, it's work. And then after that, it's getting to the whole creative aspect of it. So, and I keep guitars kind of around the house.
Yeah,
There
this
you
is
go.
method. Every
You
room.
can just grab
good
one,
idea.
like
Yes.
noodle around with it for a sec. Yeah.
Always. And I try to, come up with something at least once a week.
Yeah, so you
that I
guys see
can
the weekly
record
song
and-
clips.
and do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, those are great.
Sitting on the couch, and that's what he's doing. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, stop. Let's
Yeah.
get this.
Yeah, let's capture that real
Hey, and
quick.
that's a great lesson for all the artists and the DIY rock stars out there is how can you use what you're already doing to create content for social media, And that's what you guys do fantastically with that.
And sometimes it's like for the creative aspect of it, I think the other time it was like, I just want to start using diminished chords. So I just start coming up with chord progressions where I can throw in diminished chords in there, and I think we probably did, 4 or 5 different clips.
Yeah.
Where, I'm just
Playing around with that. Yeah.
So, because to me, that's the way, if I start weaving things into like new techniques into songs, then that for me is a way that it stays with me.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
Yeah.
that's another way to kind of
Keeps things fresh too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
The
that.
last thing, what you got? Oh, last thing. That's my method. My method is number 5. Journal. When I get up I get up at 4. So I get on the treadmill and I call it the zombie trot because I'm half asleep. So I have my journal, my blank Google Doc up, and I am typing as I am walking on the treadmill.
Wow.
I have to get it out. I have to start the day and just, hey, I'm upset about this yesterday. I got this to do today, but right now I'm doing this. So that's how
good.
I start. Yeah.
Being present in that
Yeah.
moment.
Well,
and
or
just-
not.
Well, yeah.
Because, really, I get a lot of good stuff out. Like, sometimes I'll get a plan for the day. Sometimes I'll get an idea for, I should do this, plan it later.
Yeah.
But it all comes, it's like it's clear because I'm half asleep, because I'm not thinking too much about it.
I get
And
you.
then, and sometimes when I read it later, because that's where Sugar Fit came from, and Honey, it's like, I just started writing some lyrics because I was going through some stuff. And and it was a journal. And Bruce is always interested in the journals because he finds lyrics in there. So he's
That's
like, give me
cool.
what
I
you
love
got, give me
that.
what you got.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so for that one and for Honey, he's like, I could do something with that. So yeah.
I love how you guys are doing things that kind of, they serve multiple purposes, right? Like this habit that you've created for yourself in journaling that kind of starts your day out in a consistent way every day. You also can mine it for lyrics.
Oh,
that's
my
that's
goodness.
that's a great tip for artists, right?
And
Like,
even everything I did, the blogger letter, I'm about to send the all the CDs out, and that's I did the letter. I do the newsletter while I'm on the treadmill. I'm like, if I'm walking, I might as well be typing.
Right.
So,
Right.
awesome.
yeah.
Multitasking.
yeah.
I heard women are better at that though, so maybe
I
that's
don't
why you
I
could
don't
pull all that
believe-
off on the treadmill. I don't know.
No, there's a ledge. I just
That's awesome. So those are the big ones, right?
Yes, that's it.
That is the pandemic check-in, right?
yes,
Make sure you're doing
just
that.
make sure you're
Absolutely.
doing all the good
Listen
stuff.
up out
We
there.
need
They
that.
know what they're
I
talking
need
about.
that. I need that. I appreciate you guys.
No,
Thank
and I'm
you.
saying it to myself as I'm saying
Yep.
it to you.
That's the
so.
best thing about making music is like you can kind of talk to your future self a little
Yeah.
bit too. It's like a lot of people like make really depressing or negative type music and then negative bad things happen and it's like why well, that's so weird because you listen to your music and
my
your thoughts
goodness.
so much. It's almost like an affirmation.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that was so spooky with the Prince stuff. When you go back and listen to the where he does the stuff in Spanish that says he's dead. Prince has no more to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he is dead.
Yeah.
It's a trip.
That is sad.
So along with that, the check-in though, you guys have some. We're talking about strategies too,
Yeah,
right? To
yeah.
to reignite the creativity.
Yeah. So
If
yeah.
and I think I went through that, right?
Yeah.
There was a moment. Now we're back with the band. We're doing some rehearsals.
Yeah. You guys got something coming out.
We're feeling, everybody's feeling a little bit more creative and a little bit less stressed out now.
Awesome.
So,
And we
I
save
feel
so
like
much
it's back.
money.
Yeah.
We said we didn't realize we hated not traveling because we were supposed to do Spain and Italy this summer. And we hated not seeing Janet Jackson because I haven't seen her live yet and they canceled the concert. And we hated South by Southwest was canceled.
Totally.
But we started realizing what the money we were saving. And it's like, well, at least we were able to get some things paid. We gave to charity. Gave
Yeah.
a lot more than we've given in years. So,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
That's amazing. And that's important too right now because
Yeah.
we were talking to John Bomarito the other day who was saying that there's so many there's so many like fundraising events that aren't happening right now because of
Right,
this pandemic,
Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
big events like food gather stuff and like
Yeah.
especially going into the holiday season when they
Yeah.
normally raise a bunch of money and get a bunch of food, like it's going to be limited this year.
or the same
Yeah.
thing with restaurants because if they have to now go back inside, they're not going to be able to serve as many customers. So,
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
going to be a struggle too.
Yeah.
So we started trying to do that too, was do the weekly support a local restaurant.
Yeah.
Because, just so that we can keep them around. So.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super important. I know people are afraid of going to restaurants and stuff,
Well, we
but
do takeout.
every time I do takeout or it's like a nice excuse to just get some good
Yeah.
food. It's like I'm just supporting them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the first time we got sushi carry out, that was the moment where I was like, okay. This is
It's
good.
gonna be okay.
Gonna be okay.
I've got sushi.
I can still get sushi.
That's the way it was because our Chinese restaurant was closed for a while, the one we go to. And when they finally opened back up, it's like, shh. They put up the screen or whatever, and then they reopened. But we were worried. That's
Yeah.
when there was all this racial Chinese stuff going on. And I'm like, I hope they don't run out the best restaurant.
I know. Seriously. Yeah. Gotta support the restaurants. Food is life.
Yeah, food and music.
And music, yeah, for sure.
And talking about music, any other strategies about reigniting the creativity that you guys have?
We got tons, but what I know you got plenty.
Well, I know for me, it's like if I find myself going into a lull, again, the other thing that I try to do, pick up a guitar, whatever is your instrument of choice, if it's a drum machine, samples, whatever else, just start doing something.
Yeah.
And even if you don't like it,
Yeah.
record it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that'll get the energies going. Another thing that I do is I might go back and re-record an old song.
That's what we did
You know.
too. Yeah.
So I'll go back and I'll redo a song or something like that, and that tends to, kind of get that creative spark. And then the other thing is listen to music that inspired you.
yeah.
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 Go back and I know for me, I might throw in some Rush.
Oh,
and
yeah.
start listening to
Yeah.
Geddy Lee on bass, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh man, okay,
Yeah.
and it can spark something in you, Again, so those are the types of things that I try to do to spark that creativity. Stay in the moment, meaning that pay attention to, like, if you're watching a movie or whatever else, pay attention to the dialogue.
Yeah, that's what we
You
do.
know,
I
that's
keep
another
a notebook by the couch for that, and sometimes he'll pause the movie because he's like, I know you're gonna write that down.
You're right. Right. Because
Yeah.
you get good titles, you'll
Yeah.
get lyrics from that.
That's cool.
So there's all
Love that.
kinds of different ways to kind of spark that creativity.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, and I love that, just like being present, because
Yeah.
I mean that's where creativity comes from, is
Yeah.
from being present. It doesn't come from you thinking like, okay, now I'm gonna do this and now I'm gonna do that, and it comes from just that, total being absorbed in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Or letting it wash over you, because
yeah.
that's what the song "Honey" is about. It's about the I used to have the problem. I'm heading to work, and all of a sudden I'm getting getting those creative ideas, and I want to stop and I want to write, but I can't because I got to get ready to go to work.
Right.
So that's where "Honey" came from. It's like, why are you bugging me right now? Can you just wait till I get a minute so I can write this down? So yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of honey, we should actually drop that link.
Yeah,
in
throw
the
that
chat.
link in the chat.
That is our first single off the Sugar Fit album.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, talk a little
Let's
bit
talk
about
about
the song.
Yeah, I can't. Yes, we haven't gone in total disorder, but we were going to talk about the sticker giveaway, but we could.
Yeah,
It's natural.
What are the questions for the sticker giveaway?
yeah.
You guys are giving away some stickers.
Yeah, let's do that, and I'm going
Or
to drop
drop
this in the
them.
chat.
Can you read them, Bruce? Can you see them? I think they're up there. Is that there?
Greg Sanders says hi, by the way,
Thank you, Greg.
What's up, man? So
and Carolyn from Queen City
oh,
says hello too.
great. Hello, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Carolyn.
Awesome. So the first question is, how many studio albums have we had before Sugar Fit?
And that is available on the Prejippie.com website. You'll be able to find information about the album.
Okay. And the second one is, what is the song Honey inspired by? She just gave that.
And we just posted that link, actually the link to your website
Ooh, thank you.
and the honey video in the chat too, or in the post. So
Thank you.
Awesome. And I
last
don't know if
question.
we're gonna we'll probably hit this a little bit later though.
Okay.
yeah,
And where did the name of the album Sugar Fit come from?
all right.
Awesome.
The gauntlet has been thrown down.
It has been thrown down
It's
officially.
Very cool.
awesome.
So
Can't wait to check it out.
Thank you.
we were talking. Then we were talking about the honey video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about the meaning behind it in that moment when you want to do the.
Yeah. When
creativity.
because you beg for the muse to come.
Yeah.
And when she comes, you can't tell her, "Oh, I'm busy doing work that I don't really want to do."
Right.
Yeah.
But you need the work to be able to afford the honey.
Right.
So
Facts.
she's
So
she's
true.
flirty, she's teasing.
Yeah.
So that was the whole idea behind honey.
Yeah, and I really love. I mean, you guys have like this presence that's quirky and fun and like just really thoughtful. I always enjoy your content,
Oh, thank you.
and everybody out there that's listening right now should go enjoy the content too. 'Cause
Yeah,
you can
go
have a lot
check
of
it
fun.
out.
It's Friday
They can
night.
Purchase,
It's great stuff.
They can purchase on Bandcamp. They can
Yes.
get the album, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Limited
absolutely.
time price of $10 is going up.
Yeah. And we could
had
drop
a
that in the chat
music
as well.
business coach that said you are not charging enough. You need to go up. He said, tell your people you're gonna go up soon, and then go up and don't come down. So
Yeah.
You got to get on the
Yep.
you got to get on the
You
ground
got
floor
to
there.
the value, and
Yep.
the thing is it's supply and demand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the
Right.
supply right now for what you guys are doing is way down, and for what we're doing too, like live music and just recorded music, the
Yeah.
supply is down because of this pandemic.
Yeah.
People are having a hard time, so the value is up.
yeah.
And
Let's put it
the
up.
and the Bandcamp page is prejippie.bandcamp.com, right?
Yes.
Very cool.
So we're gonna throw that in the chat too, so y'all can check it out. I love having lots of that content that we can share with people, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
can go back in and enjoy.
I was about to say, and if you follow us on Bandcamp, I can send you a free sticker. Just today. It's just for the people listening.
Listen up, here you go, guys. It's your chance, and these stickers are super cool.
Album art.
Yeah, the album art.
With the QR code that takes
I
you to
love
the
it.
landing page.
I love it. Who did? Who did the artwork? Say you guys?
Yeah.
You did that. Yeah. It's super cool.
Actually,
It's so
I got to do a shout out to Greg Sanders because I told him
nice.
that his band inspired me years ago when he was doing all the cartoon graphics.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so I'm like, I want that. And I tried to get a couple people to do it for us. Again, you try to get other people to do it, and after a while, our daughter takes our pictures, and everybody always loves our pictures. So I'm like, we got her to take some more pictures, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw a cartoon filter on that sucker.
Yeah.
It looks really
That's it.
cool. I love it.
Thank you.
It fits the vibe, and it fits you guys very well.
Thank you.
You guys are super cool.
Yeah, thank you
you.
guys,
You guys
so
are
much for
the
coming out.
DIY rock stars, and thank you for sharing. All of your new stuff with us.
I was about to say it's like an avalanche. If you type in Prejippie, it'll all fall down on you. So be
Yeah.
careful.
And we're gonna premiere that video on our Facebook page coming up very, very soon within the
Yeah.
next day or so.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So if you don't catch it at the end of this, and we posted the link, but we know how social media
yeah,
goes.
go check it out on
Stuff
YouTube
gets
right
buried,
now.
and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
it
where
does.
was that
We
again?
just did
Whose
that
channel?
episode. You got to
Yeah.
be on more than one channel at the same
That's
time.
right, that's
Don't
right.
Play with that.
So we're gonna be premiering that, and we're really excited. So thank you guys for coming by. Am I
Thanks for
missing?
having
Oh,
us.
you know what? We got to ask that question though, don't we?
Yeah, for
We
sure.
always got to ask the question.
Yeah, we have a question.
We always like to ask because there is this uncertainty right now because of this pandemic and everything that's going on. But what do you guys think is most certain right now? Whether it's personally or with music or with business, what feels certain to you?
What feels certain is that I know that we have in our power to make the creative life that we want. And
Ooh.
that
Ooh.
means serious.
Love it.
That's
one of
the
the
whole
best
thing.
answers we got.
No, yeah, for sure.
I'm not
That's-
surprised,
because
though.
that's like the fact that like there's a lot of people that aren't certain about that, but the thing is I believe that that's certain as well. But you have to take the steps. You got to believe in yourself. You got to
Yeah.
believe that it's possible. You got to
And you have to
you gotta
invest
do
in
it.
yourself.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
if you don't do it, who's gonna do it for you? Nobody.
Facts.
A-
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you feel like you're on a path or something, or you feel like you're doing something for a greater purpose,
Yeah.
keep doing it.
Yeah,
Keep
I
going
know.
down that
Yeah.
path. You
Yeah.
never know where it's gonna lead.
Yep, I agree. As long as I have breath, I feel like there's always opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just,
Yeah.
So that's
love
the one
that.
certain thing that you know. So
I love that perspective.
cool.
I love that attitude. That's why I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I love that positivity.
cool.
It's very cool.
It's a great Friday.
Once again, Blooming Prejippie. This is Grove Sessions. Check out their work at bloomingprejippie.com. We posted the links down in the chat and a number of other things that you can engage in and follow. And check out their YouTube channel as well. So much good stuff, so much good content, great advice, positivity, and great music that you guys are making. And we're going to look forward to premiering that new video and song very soon. So
Thank you.
have a good night,
Peace.
everybody.
thank you.
Grove Sessions is out.
All right.